Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing apart a truly terrifying ghost story to figure out what makes a narrative so scary. We're going to break down how a masterfully told tale can lead you down one path, only to pull the rug out from under you in the final act.
So, let's dive right in with the line that really kicks off the terror. Just imagine hearing that. A chilling, disembodied demand hissed from the other side of a locked door in the middle of the night. This one phrase perfectly sets the stage, right? It establishes the ghost's motive as something simple, insatiable, and totally evil. Our story kicks off with a family in a new home. The classic setup for any good haunting. But what they find one night in the kitchen is anything but ordinary. This is the exact moment a little creeping unease turns into full-blown horror. Okay, try to picture this. The mother, Mandakini, hears a strange noise and goes to the kitchen, and there she finds her daughter, Sugandha, just crouched on the floor, her face and clothes smeared with blood, eating a raw fish like some kind of wild animal. Her eyes are completely vacant, and when her mom asks what's going on, she says in this weird, unnatural voice, "It made me eat the fish. Now I will live with it."
But then, the next morning, it's like nothing ever happened. Sugandha is totally back to her normal self, and she has no memory at all of that gruesome midnight snack. This contrast between night and day is what's so unsettling, right? Was it just a horrible nightmare, some weird sleepwalking episode, or was it something much, much worse?
Well, things escalate pretty quickly. More strange stuff starts happening around the house, and they finally turn to their servant, Bhuvan, who, you can tell, knows a lot more than he's been letting on. And that's when he reveals the terrifying local legend that they've just walked right into. Bhuvan finally spills it. They're dealing with a Mecho Bhoot, a fish ghost. And this explains everything. It's why all the local villagers steer clear of the mansion and the river nearby. He actually tried to warn the family, but, they just dismissed his concerns. And now they're face to face with this ancient evil.
And the rules of this particular haunting are terrifyingly simple. Once the ghost gets its hooks in somebody by tricking them into eating its fish, its hunger just grows and grows. It doesn't just want a meal. Its goal is to completely destroy its host, and then the entire family. And maybe the most frightening part, it isn't tied to just one person.
So, armed with this horrifying new knowledge, all of the family's fear and suspicion starts to focus on just one person, Sugandha. A whole series of disturbing events unfolds, and every single piece of evidence seems to paint this very clear, very logical, but ultimately completely wrong picture of what's going on. Just look how the evidence stacks up. It seems perfect, right? From that first incident with the raw fish to the dismembered animals found outside, everything points directly at Sugandha. The creepy voice at the door sounds just like her. She's found unconscious the next day, so what do? Locking her in her room seems like the only rational choice to keep everyone else safe. But here's the thing. Even with Sugandha supposedly neutralized, locked safely away, the terror doesn't stop. The parents hear these awful sounds, like furniture being thrown around, doors being rattled violently. And of course, what's their natural assumption? It must be the spirit, still attached to Sugandha, just raging inside her room, trying to get out. Just when things seem completely desperate, Bhuvan returns, and this time, he's not alone. He's brought in a holy man, an exorcist, to confront the spirit and save the family. But the ritual he's about to perform doesn't go the way anyone expects, and this is where the story takes its shocking turn.
So the exorcist gets to work. He takes out a consecrated iron nail. This is a tool that's meant to agitate and expose a possessing spirit, and he circles it over the unconscious Sugandha. The whole family's just holding their breath, waiting for some kind of violent reaction, but nothing. Not a thing happens. Sugandha stays perfectly still. Confused, the exorcist moves over to the other sister, Indrani, and as he performs the exact same ritual on her, the effect is immediate and absolutely terrifying. Indrani's always flash red. She starts gasping and convulsing with a rage that is clearly not her own. The true host has just been revealed.
The spirit, now totally cornered and exposed, just lashes out through Indrani's mouth, threatening the exorcist with this inhuman fury. And in that same moment, she displays superhuman strength, literally throwing her father and Bhuvan across the room when they try to hold her down.
And here it is, the chilling truth. The ghost switched hosts. Remember that night Indrani heard the voice? Well, she eventually opened her door, and in that one moment, The spirit ditched Suganda's weakened body and moved right into Indrani. It was Indrani who killed the animals. It was Indrani who was terrorizing the family, all while everyone thought the culprit was locked away.
Okay, so now they finally know the truth, and the real battle can begin. The exorcist explains that the spirit is getting stronger by the minute, and it will destroy the whole family if they don't stop it. So he comes up with this dangerous, but really clever, plan to lure the spirit out and destroy it for good.
The plan is actually pretty brilliant, because it uses the ghost's own insatiable hunger against it. First, they set up a protective barrier around the house so the spirit can't get back in. Then, they tie Indrani down and lay out a trail of its favorite food, fish, leading away from her. The exorcist's chants force the spirit out to go for the bait, and right at that moment of vulnerability, he strikes.
With a flash of holy fire, the Mecho Bhoot is finally vanquished. Its essence is burned away, and Indrani is freed from its grasp. The nightmare is finally over. But, the experience has left a permanent mark on the family, and it leads them to make a very swift and very final decision.
They don't waste a single moment. That very same month, the father arranges for a work transfer. They pack up their things and just abandon the mansion, totally unwilling to spend one more night in a place that holds that much terror. They learned a crucial lesson. Some places are just best left to the spirits that claim them.
And that really brings us to our final thought here. The terror of the Mecho Bhoot isn't just about some hungry ghost. Its real power as a story is in how cunning it is. The narrative masterfully builds this case against one character, making you, the audience, just as certain as the family is. The real horror comes from that final revelation. The monster was standing right next to you the whole time, completely undetected. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest threat is the one you never see coming.